Angry guy here, and men are abandoning society and living happy, stress free lives. Guys, if you're enjoying this content, please help get this channel to 100,000 subscribers on our journey to 2 million by subscribing to the channel if you already haven't, liking the video, and turning on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Now let's begin. Men are abandoning society and living happy, stress free lives. Let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
But what should really scare people, what should really keep you up at night, is this meme. It's a picture of a bare room with nothing but a mattress and a TV. And the caption, "Men think it's okay to live like this." The reason this meme should send chills down your spine is because it shows you how little men need to survive. And whereas today the average man makes $53,000 a year, understand that's because he has to. The current population of men have houses, mortgages, car loans, student loans, families, bills, child support, alimony, etc., etc. But also understand, while these things are indeed expenses, they're also investments in society via families, education, careers, spouses, etc. Investments in society men deemed worthwhile because they would presumably get a return on those investments, be it love, family, community, or a rewarding career. But what if society and the opposite sex presented men a unified front that men were no longer needed or wanted? What if the media, the institutions, the opposite sex, and the schools sent a consistent and decades-long message that men were no longer welcomed to participate in society? What if they literally said those words, "We don't need you"? Without a society to reciprocally invest in, let alone participate in, how much would men need to work to simply survive? How much would men need to work to merely exist? Perhaps enjoying some video games while living at home and collecting Social Security at 62. And using previous research done for my book, Poor Richard's Retirement, where I calculated that precise number, adjusting for inflation, the answer today is $21,900. A full 60% less than the 53,000 men produce today. Men are certainly dropping out of the labor force, working less, and studying less. But what should concern every American and Westerner today is not that we're losing 3% of the male workforce every decade. It should be just how low men can go. Men don't need SUVs, designer clothes, McMansions in the suburbs, master's degrees, even children, and certainly not other men's children. They can literally get by with a cot, a $300 flat panel TV, a PlayStation, and if you're kind enough to provide it, an EBT card and disability check while living at home. This would result in a 60% drop in everything men produce. And that production isn't the variety of DEI consultants, pre-K teachers, or whatever other worthless horse shit women disproportionately produce in this economy. It's the critical, infrastructural, vital stuff we need to simply live. And so, as much as society seems to be pained to consider what men want, if they want the lights to stay on, if they want to live, they're going to have to. Because otherwise, in enough time, there will simply be no society.
Now, what's really interesting about this, guys, is the fact that, and he makes some excellent points, very, very excellent points. The fact of the matter is that not only do men need very little to survive, but on top of that, he said that, men can get by with a flat panel TV, a cot, and a cot, a PlayStation, and an EBT card. One is so graciously provided. But here's the crazy thing about what he said. You have to remember that these things are just one-time purchases. If a man has a bedroom to live out of, and hear me out on this, if he can live with a family member, or he can live in a room very cheaply somewhere. Let's say he moves to a state where he only has to pay maybe $200 or $300 a month for rent. That only works out to $3,600 a year. That is absolutely nothing. That is nothing to a man. $3,600 a year is literally nothing to the average man. And in some states, you have people who are paying mortgages of like $500 a month. So if a guy's living expenses are around even let's say even $500 a month, that's $6,000 a year. $6,000 a year. Again, that is nothing to the average man. That is nothing. That is chump change for the average man. So his rent, $6,000 a year. What next? You know, and let's say what, living expenses, let's say, most of that stuff will be covered. If he's living in a room or something, most of his electrical cost and so forth, that's going to be included or whatever. But really, outside of his rent, a man is going to live very, very easily, and if he has a room for himself, as I said, most things are just one-time purchases. So he can actually purchase a bed if he wants to. A lot of guys are pretty bad, though. A lot of guys are bastards. They'll sleep on the floor in a sleeping bag, and they'll be very happy and very comfortable. See, there's a lot of guys who live this life because they want to be able to pick up and take off whenever. I had a comment from a guy in my comment section who basically listed out everything he owned. He had a big backpack, and he's listed out like he had like this many shirts, this many pairs of jeans, this many shoes, and like he went through everything. And basically everything fits in his backpack, and he can be gone in 30 minutes. And he told me he's done this many times. And the cynical laughter, it was almost a bit evil. It was almost a bit evil. It was that he expressed of just being able to pick up and disappear at a given moment was quite terrible. And sometimes you'll see these men and you'll say, bro, you can do better than this. And what you don't understand is this is by choice. Some of these guys are bastards. Some of these guys are bastards. They're doing this to oh my gosh. They're doing this deliberately. They're doing it deliberately. They could be gone. They could be gone in minutes. Minutes. These are bastards. All right? These are bastards. You see me? If you blink, you will miss them. If you blink, you will miss them. They will be gone in minutes. They will be gone in minutes. Some of these guys can be gone in 5 minutes, y'all. 5 minutes. This is not a joke. Okay? That guy that said 30 minutes, that's because he had gotten comfortable. Make this very clear. That's because he had gotten comfortable. All right? There's a lot of men who can be gone in 5 minutes. Everything they own is organized in a backpack, including their dirty laundry. They keep everything in that backpack at any given moment. They have a system. These are some wicked dudes. They have a system. Like they have a laundry bag and everything else, and they keep everything carefully organized. They'll even have like these special types of compression bags. And they do this so that at any given moment they can pick up, walk away. How do I know this? In Japan, you have people who live in these cyber cafes, and they do something very, very similar, where everything they own is in a backpack. And they take their backpack with them at the end of every day, and they take their backpack to work with them. And they live like this indefinitely. And a lot of these men in Western society, this is how these bastards live. Women don't comprehend just how little men need to survive. But these men are terrible because they can pick up and they can be gone. They can be gone in 5 minutes. Some men 3. Some men 3. Like they're just waiting for the opportunity. And they don't even really give a damn about the backpack. I'll explain why. because if they lose everything in the backpack, that's just God telling them that it's time to buy, get some fresh stuff. I mentioned that some of these guys will have insurance on these things. Someone responded that, yeah, not you don't even need insurance. You can just it's just time to buy some new stuff. That's it. That's it for because think about it. A lot of these men will wear the same things for years. They'll wear the same things for years. They'll have what, a Nintendo Switch in there, a Steam Deck in there. These men don't give a damn. Gaming laptop, and they keep these things around for years. For years. So like 3, 4, 5 years goes by, they lose the backpack, and at best, it was maybe $1,000 worth of things in there at this moment. Thousand, maybe 1,500, $2,000. But you have to understand, and that's what the electronics. That's the electronics. The clothing is a joke. Clothing is an absolute joke. Those are things that can be replaced with a few $100s. If they really wanted to, they can go to a thrift store and replace almost everything in there for less than $100. We're just going to be really honest about that. And go to a thrift store, between a thrift store and a Walmart, because you have to buy you have to buy clean underwear. Between a thrift store and a Walmart, or even Amazon, they can replace everything for less than $100. Just being very, very honest. Okay. And again, a lot of guys, they live these lives where they don't give a damn. You can buy, for example, you can pick up like a 2013 MacBook Air, and the last update to that device was the last update was like 2020. So the OS is pretty up to date. And I believe it's still receiving security updates. Some dudes will pick up a device like that for like with 8 gigabytes and for like what, $300. And that's enough for them. It's still fast enough, works well. Most men don't need much to survive. There are a lot of guys who can live off $1,000. Literally, they are walking around with $1,000 worth of stuff. They have a good laptop. They have a Nintendo Switch in there or Steam Deck, and that's and their clothing, and that's really it. That's really it. A lot of dudes don't need much. A lot of dudes are walking around with not even $1,000 worth of stuff in a backpack, and these guys have thousands of dollars in the bank. Thousands, tens of thousands, some cases hundreds of thousands. But then again, a lot of these guys are into crypto and they hate the financial system, so they have their money stored in Bitcoin, and they would rather lose every single dime in Bitcoin than give their money to the U.S. government or allow women to take it through taxation. Yeah, a lot of you guys, you know who you are. A lot of y'all are real wicked and spiteful. And y'all say angry. We're not the wicked ones, okay? It's the government, and they're trying to rob. Listen, there's some men. There are some men, and you know who you are. And I'm not exaggerating whatsoever. There's some of y'all that will put all of your money in Bitcoin and avoid paying taxes, and you will go to jail, and you will sit in jail for decades before you pay taxes or give up a dime. You know who you are. There are a lot of men like this today. They are frightening men. These are very, very frightening men. They would rather rot in jail and pass away in jail than ever allow a dime of their money to go towards taxes and single mothers. And it's the craziest thing, but it's true. It's absolutely true. Men don't need much to survive, and women don't understand this. Less is more for a man. Men are living simple lives of luxury. One of the things I want to pick up is a Chrysler. Well, not Chrysler. I hate the Chrysler. I love Hyundai Tucsons. And and I'm planning on picking up a 2007 Hyundai Tucson. Is it a 2007 or no? Not 2007. What am I saying? 2010. I'm planning on picking up a 2010 Hyundai Tucson. I used to have a 2007. Planning on picking up a 2010. And I think it's a 2010. When I looked on like Kelley Blue Book, right? I can pick up one of those for like $5,000, $6,000 right now. Like I can literally purchase one of those with essentially a month's paycheck, which is crazy. Like this is crazy, guys. With like a month's paycheck, more or less, I could pick up a car, an SUV. They're still in really great shape. Pick up one with like 100,000 miles or less than 100,000 miles. The cars run incredible. And the only reason why the funny thing is this: pick one up, fix it up a little bit, spend $1,000 to update the interior, maybe update the seating, and runs great, pretty luxurious. And the craziest thing about this is, like, when I decide to take off, I could just sell it. I could literally just sell it and be gone just like that. And it's insane. Or I could put it into storage, although it may cost more to keep it in storage than it is to just get rid of it if I'm going overseas. And I will be going overseas. I'll be heading over to Japan within the next year or two. And it's just crazy. It's just by the grace of God. But that's my plan right now. That's my plan right now. And I'll be honest with you. I've only ever liked white women. And then I moved overseas. And it was like my brain. I remember I Am Serious, this blonde white guy. And he said this years ago to me. He goes, he's like, he cannot even feel attraction towards Caucasian women anymore. Because he had moved to Indonesia. And he said this to me. And a lot of guys might think, oh, he's just a guy who was hurt by these women. And, that's why he's saying this. And then I moved overseas. And I'm going to tell you, I literally lost attraction. Like I literally preferred foreign women. When I say preferred, like that was it for me. Your brain changes. Your brain literally changes. And for me, I already know that. Like I already know I probably should just go over to Japan. I'm not getting married, but I want a Japanese woman. It's unfortunate because they say great things about the Filipinas, and the Filipinas are great. The Filipinas are great, and of course I can I plan on going around having different women, but I'm too stressed out. I can't be bothered with jumping all over the place. 40 years old now, and it's an unfortunate sadness for me that I just can't be bothered. I don't have the energy for the nonsense. I'd rather I already know I know my personality type, and it's gonna be a Japanese woman for me. Unfortunately, it's like once you know yourself, you just don't go chasing waterfalls. Stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to. And I'm used to Japanese women, so it is what it is. Maybe in the next life. But guys, men are abandoning society and living happy, stress-free lives. If you're enjoying these videos, help get this channel to 100,000 subscribers by subscribing to the channel if you already haven't, liking the video, and turning on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Guys, what do you think about everything we discussed here today? I want to know your thoughts in the comments. So let's talk about them there. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWAIM and walking away. And cheers.